Hi. We are live. Do-do-do-dum. And it's the first live stream, SEOcharity live stream for 2025. Okay, so today is single live stream. We'll be doing more single live streams because it's for obvious. It's easy to arrange than the big one. And the big one, you can't do it very often. We'll be doing big ones only twice a year. By the way, today's Search Engine Journal shared an article about SEOcharity and about particular event, which the main event, which will be on March 27. So everyone who is here, and hopefully you will be on the March 20th and March 19th, because the next single one will be March 19th at the same time, and after that we have a big one March 27. Before we start, we just were talking, three of us, and we were discussing what was the main idea of doing everything. And probably for me, the main idea is to get money. Not for myself, money. I'll talk about project here. Carmen, sorry, I'll take a couple of minutes to explain what the project to get money. But because it's SEOcharity, it's for SEO people, about SEO people, and we use trust we have with SEO people. We use trust we have with SEO people. So SEO part is a very, very important part. So of course, money is important. So please do donate if you can. But SEO part is extremely important. Okay, just before we start, we got this one. 10 coffees. It's old page. Now we use another page, but that page is still working. Okay, about project. It's 3 years old project, slightly even more than that. 3 years started almost after the war started, the full-scale war started. War started at the end of February 2022. The project started in March 2022, and the idea was to help small shelters to take care of cats and dogs. When I said small, okay, they may be small and they're based mainly in a private flat or private houses, but some of them have 120 cats and dogs, some of them 60. And so we right now, because of the money and everything, we're helping regularly 5 to 5 shelters, and it's altogether was 300 animals. Just think about it. And of course, we can't change the world, unfortunately, but we can try. We should try, but we can change destiny and life of a particular animal. In this case, 300 animals. So so if you can donate, fantastic. If you cannot donate, enjoy the show. Guys, it's all yours.
And spread the word. So if you the scientific study was, I don't remember, somewhere, when someone shares the word about some charity, another 15 people can pick it up and share within their circles, and someone might become more interested, and it will help in the long run to everyone. And also, we are here to get some very helpful information in terms of digital marketing, because our guest and our speaker today is Carmen Domínguez Rodríguez. And Carmen has an extensive knowledge in digital marketing since 2015, both from the agencies and in-house. And Carmen specializes in lots of things, but including e-commerce and Google's natural language processing. She's also a huge advocate for women and is mentoring quite a few and helping to the community in very big way. Also, Carmen has 2 cute cats. I hope maybe we'll be able to see them today. She's a cat lover. So I'm passing the word to you, Carmen, and I can't wait to see the presentation.
Thank you. I like how other people introduce me, because you guys always say very nice things about me. And hopefully my 2 cats come over. I have both of them are adopted, so please adopt cats or try to support charities that do support cats and dogs, like this one. And I was going to, if we can show the presentation, I put a small intro about me. Also, I really wanted to show this image because it's awesome and it's the best intro that anyone has ever done for a talk I have given. So I'm probably printing this. But about me, as it was just said, I've been working in the industry for a while now, 8 years. I've done digital PR, SEO, content translations, and so why I got very much involved into natural language processing, really because I was curious, then because it became a boom. And I have worked with brands like HBO, Tekemax, HomeSense, which belong to the same group. And now I am the head of the organic director, actually, not the head of WellTech, which is, by the way, an Ukrainian company. And we do fitness apps. And in here I look after content, SEO, YouTube, and that's why we're going to be talking about it today. I also feel very proudly about having raised a lot of money in the last 3 years. Well, a lot of money from my perspective. 10K is not a lot, but doing fundraising for different Ukrainian charities. And I'm also a foodie. It's not important to say this, but probably whenever you talk to me, if I'm not talking about SEO, I'm talking about food. And at some point, I became a viral meme in the internet with my face in a mozzarella. So I just really wanted to say there, I'm a really, really big fan of mozzarella. So if anyone wants to send any free,
this is genius. We need a.
Wait. And yeah, so just before that was me. And today we're going to be talking about YouTube. I'm not sure if you can see, hopefully you can see the presentation properly. Yes, awesome.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So why are we talking about YouTube? As we all know, in the last few months, particularly a year, there are lots of things that have changed in the world of SEO, right? In the world of how traffic is coming to our websites, AI came through. We have seen a massive decrease in CTR. Actually, recently someone published a publication about how CTR has decreased since AI overviews came to place. So it's important that as SEOs, we start looking at all the different areas where we can actually reach our audience. And YouTube is actually one of them. So YouTube, it belongs also to Google, but it's massive. Probably all of you has at some point used YouTube to search different pieces of information, how to do things, or just to get entertained. But it's also a massive place to actually engage with your audience. So if you work in house or the audience of your clients, is the best way to actually reach them without the need of actually trying to sell something straight away. And it's also a very good way as a brand to control and monitor your narrative, right? To be able to show who you are, who you want to help, and how you want to engage with your users. So YouTube has become, for me, as many others, a different way of actually reaching your goals as an SEO. And also, if we think outside YouTube as a platform, but we also think about the SERPs, we can see that Google more and more in the last year have been pushing for video content. I think in the SEO industry, it's been now like forever, probably 3 years now, that everyone keeps hammering about how the importance of creating videos. And it's not only because it looks better and it's easier to tell a story, but also because everyone likes it, including Google itself. So this is a SERP of a search, is exercise to do at home, or an obvious one. But when you look at the actual SERP, this is from last week, we can see that AI overviews take a big chunk. Then second one is image. The third, the following page that is ranking is videos, and then is videos coming from YouTube and TikTok. So if you also want to own the SERP, forgetting about YouTube, getting YouTube and getting videos is a way to do it. So, and also, it's very important, as I said earlier, that we consider, this is in the case of my industry where I work in the fitness industry, it's very important to know that users do actively go there and stay there to engage with content and to find the information. And in this case, we can see that users, while search volume in Google for things like health-related content goes down and is massively monitored by it in YouTube, it actually continues during the year. So we can see different trends in search and how people engage with different pieces of content, depending on you, if you check in Google or if you check in YouTube. So it's important that we understand how YouTube performs, and also you understand how people search in Google and YouTube to be able to engage with your users. So having said all of that, and trying for me to convince you why you need to go to YouTube while in a live, we're going to be talking about the main things that we need to know for YouTube, how it works whenever you want to do content planning and creation, how does YouTube discover content, how does the users discover content, the pieces of technical implementation that you need to know, particularly in the channel customization, other strategies that you can use in YouTube outside the classic of short and long form video, and how to look after content performance. Again, feel free to ask any questions during the presentation or after the presentation. I'm going to be able to answer anything that you need. And please, as I put in the corner, donate. Feel free to donate. So YouTube 101. It's super important, and this is something, one of the biggest struggles that you will get whenever convincing your brands or your clients to do videos is going to be differentiated between the classic super beautiful video that someone will create for TV and the video that you need to be creating for YouTube. It's not the same. Why it's not the same? Whenever you create an ad for television, you're going to be thinking of something beautiful, lots of images, very music that makes you feel in a certain way. But actually, people, when they go to YouTube, that's not what they want to see. They go to YouTube to have fun. They go to YouTube to be inspired. They want to get access to things that they would normally not get access somewhere else. And they want to come to YouTube to learn. So being able to adapt the content that you create to achieve those goals is going to be the first barrier that you need to overcome to be able to engage with the users. It's also not the same to create a content that is just to be put there, or content that it is to be engaging with users and convincing and entertaining users. It's super important that you always are authentic whenever you are creating these videos. I mean, nowadays, particularly with written content, the issue that we found as the AI is everywhere, right? Lots of content is automated, created. You cannot engage with the users whenever it's written content because the user doesn't know, and you don't have a way to talk to the user. The good thing about videos on YouTube is, and also social media, we will see later how to use content from YouTube in social media, is you can actually live engage with your users, and you can get to what your users like or not. So it's very important that, because the reach of the user is more direct, that whenever you're writing video, that you are authentic. So you need to understand how your users talk. You need to understand how your users expect you to behave. You will see a lot of reactions of people putting content with the word cringe because it becomes too much or too little because you are not understanding your audience. Super important as well that you keep it DIY. Why? Users, again, want to feel reflected to whenever they come to YouTube. They don't want to see a massive studio and all the money that you have put behind. They want to reach you. They want to be like you. So it's very important that whenever you create these videos, you create it without a lot of money in the back. Again, it might be that you're using a lot of money, but make sure that it doesn't look like that. And whenever you create the video, put YouTube first. Obviously, we are talking about creating YouTube for SEO. We are talking about creating YouTube for conversion, but you want to engage your users and reward your users by staying with you. So make sure that you create content that forces the users to come back to YouTube, that they subscribe, that they know where you are, so you can actually engage with them. Another way, particularly when you started your channel from scratch, is actually collaborating with other users and with other content creators, particularly content creators that already have established name. And this is the classic collaborating with influencers, right? But also that way you can bring along the community that this creator has been creating. It's also some of the things that we've been doing is collaborating and creating our own videos and publishing them at the same time in both channels, connecting the communities to engage. If you're new, finding these collaborations with people who already have an audience in YouTube is going to be really important, because it will make the clicks come quicker and for people to subscribe faster, which are two of the most important things that you need to do in YouTube in order to the crawl to continue showing your videos. So how do you start actually, if you are new in YouTube, how do you start your channel, and what are the steps that you need to do? First of all, you need to understand as if you are creating a website, what is your aim? What are you trying to stand for? Start creating your own branding. Make sure that your banner and your profile is clear. You have a clear CTA and objective. Why are you creating your YouTube video? Is it just to create videos and that's it? Are you going to continue creating the content and engaging? Have a proper objective and way of putting it forward with your brand. Then have your content strategy. And for content strategy, the same way that you do it for your website, you need to make sure that you have your topics, and your topics are connected among themselves, and also they're consistent. Why am I saying connecting among themselves? Because actually internal linking in YouTube is as important as internal linking is in a website. It's a way for the crawler to discover new videos and to create the connection with context. So almost the same thing you will do for Google, you will do for YouTube. It's super important as well that you do keyword research, that you optimize your videos with the content description, with the tags that you use, and that you organize it in playlists the same way that you will organize content clusters, because it works exactly the same. But equally, and I would say, as in SEO, it's very important to show the engagement. I said it earlier, having clicks and having people to subscribe and having people to connect is a very important indicator for YouTube to show up your videos. I would say it's almost the same for any content that you create in a website, right? So applying the same logic to making sure that your content is discoverable and that people engage with it should be your main objectives. At the end of the day, you want your users to like your content, because if your users like your content, YouTube will reward you by showing your content more often. Clear. And finally, again, I said by starting to figure out what you want your channel to be, then you need to create also a monetization and revenue potential plan, because obviously subscribing is great, but if you are subscribing for nothing, so you're subscribing, like you're getting people to subscribe for no money, without a clear intent of the users going to your website, why are you creating YouTube in the first place? I'm not saying everything should be about money, but you need to have a clear objective, and that is a monetization or objective of revenue potential. And the most important part, I would say, is a competitive benchmarking and growth. Why am I saying this? Because if you don't understand what the channels that are your competitors are doing to be the best out there, and I'm talking about channels being your competitors, not necessarily like competitors. If you don't understand why people go to certain channels, it's going to be very difficult for you to get to the same level. And that's why we're going to be talking a little bit about the things that you need to look whenever you do an audit. There are so many tools out there to do audits. I'm putting one example in here, Social Blade, for example, one that you can use, but many out there, and you can ask me afterwards. And the things that you need to look into those are the preferred locations where your videos are being created. As I said earlier, very important that we use places that our users can be reflected with. If you are doing a recipe, make sure it's in a kitchen. If you are doing a, yoga lesson, maybe do it in your living room with candles, plants, something that is zen with the right music. Then look into the video comment threads. Are they long? Do my competitors create videos that are 1 hour long, or is it okay with 30 minutes? Do people actually get bored after 2 hours watching a video? Does it need to be a short? Does it need to be a longer video? What's the format that you use? That's also very important. And the audience engagement techniques. We were talking earlier about how important it is for the audience to engage with our videos. There are so many things that you can do in the process, right? You can get people to subscribe, you can get people to comment, you can get people to click in certain areas. That is the way that you can check that people actually are enjoying your content. And finally, thumbnails. I said you need to engage with your users, but also you need to get your users to click through your video whenever they're searching for it. The same way that we need to get users to click in our URL in the SERPs for Google, the same thing we need to do for the thumbnails. And thumbnails, along with the titles, a really good way of getting people to click. They need to showcase your video, and also showcase the content that you are putting there. So I was also talking about some engagement processes that you can use throughout the video. There is the famous first 15-second rule, where you need to clearly say your proposition, the outcomes, the unique selling point of your video or the product that you're trying to sell, the call to action. The call to action can go at the beginning or the end. Very important as well that whenever the video finishes, you put your call to action. But there are lots of different ways, things that you can do in the process. Whenever you're doing an audit as well, super important that you look at the regular posting schedule. What am I saying this? Because actually, lots of us, you will hear us talking about the importance of content quality. You don't want to put content that is so bad out there that people don't engage with it, right? Because remember, engaging is very important. But a trick that not a lot of people clarify is whenever you're starting a channel, quantity is as important or more important than the quality of the video, because you need the crawler the same way that actually you normally use for SEO. Whenever you are doing a new website, same with a video, you need to create a lot of videos to get more chances to people to discover you, but also to get more chances to Google to show you. So you need to look at how often your competitors post. You need to look at when your competitors post and try to do the same or a little bit more at the beginning to catch up with them. And UGC and community reactions, again, and interactions, as I said already, is super important that you keep your community engaged. It's really important that you reply to the comments, because it's also one indicator for ranking, a ranking factor within YouTube for YouTube. And as I said earlier, internal linking. Internal linking is really important among videos, but also for whatever you're doing outside. So, and actually to the videos. So if you have a website, make sure that you put your videos in your website. If you have a playlist, make sure that every single link is linking, every single video is linking to each other, but also link out to all the social media. Because again, what we're trying to do with these videos is creating entity authority, right? What we've been talking about a lot recently in SEO, how important it is to create this connection between the things that you're doing as a brand. You need to do the same in YouTube. And also, not only because of YouTube, also because it's going to help you overall with your brand awareness and your identity. So internal linking, again, really important to make sure that you keep your users within your brand platforms as well. And here just as some different type of contents. I've been talking about shorts and long form. It does change depending on what type of content you want to create, how you shoot it, right? In here, the shorts, which actually tend to be something that you do more often, and also it tends to be one of the best performing ones. People more and more have less time. We see it in how successful TikTok is, right? People have less time to be doing things, and the intent behind the shorts are different than the intent behind the long forms. So you need to make sure that you know what the intent is, and you start putting as many as your competitors or even more. So normally, as a proper schedule, again, it will depend on the industry, depend on your objectives, but I can say probably you will look after 3-4 shorts minimum, while you might as well just do one long form a month or 2 long form a month. Again, depending on how aggressive you want to be and how fast you want to grow. But definitely put more shorts than long form, because people will engage more with the short forms. Also, you see the shape is different. And also you can reuse it for social media, which we will see later how to do. Very important, again, I was talking just about identifying, working on content pillars like we do in SEO. Whenever we are creating our content pillars or series, as normally are called in YouTube, we need to make sure that we have an intent behind it. Again, like we do whenever we create the content in a website for your contextualization and the content clusters. You need to do the same in here. Just giving the example of MyProtein, I used to work, I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but I used to work in TAG. TAG owns MyProtein and look fantastic. So I like using the MyProtein example because I think it's actually very good one. In here you can see how they have organized the contents in the different clusters depending on what they want to achieve. So they have the body transformations. They want to showcase how having protein helps you lose weight and gets or getting stronger, depending what your objectives are. And what they have done is interviewing users throughout their journey. So your user, the user, potential future users can actually get convinced to using proteins. The videos that you will see in here, they have nothing to do with the videos that you will see in the one above, in the how to grow muscle, because those ones are shorter and they aim at answering a question about health. And they aim to answer a question from an expert point of view. So from interviewing a user throughout their journey to giving an expert answer, the intent is totally different. The way that the video is framed is totally different. Same with the nutrition one. I'm not sure if we can see from here, but we can see some of the videos actually. I'm not sure if you see my mouse, but some of the videos are shot with, looks like shot with a phone while they're cooking a shake, right, in a kitchen. They don't look like really invested in how much it has been spent to do the video versus the body transformation one, because in those one you can see the camera, you can see the makeup, you can see that the effort has been put. They're totally different. However, they are one of the videos that are the best performers. So understanding the audience and the intent of that content has been key to make it work. Then above we have the shorts, where we can see that there are different type of shorts. We can see that some of them are just funny interviews, others are a little bit more in depth and better put through. So different intents, but always knowing how to organize it within the YouTube channel. So having said that, once you have done all the audits, once you understand how to structure your channel, once you understand what you are trying to achieve, the next point is how do you plan it and how do you create it, right? So important, I was just showing earlier how to do Q&As, how you can do challenges, how do you do long form body transformation. There are loads of formats in the channels in YouTube, and you need to get used to know them. Here, some of them that are the more popular challenges one, for example, is super popular. Q&A is very popular. You need to get into knowing how they work, how long they tend to last, how you do it, because the active users of YouTube will be able to recognize them because they are used to seeing all the time. So whenever you are trying to create the different formats, do not create it without understanding what you're trying to do. Classic error, people will actually react badly. So once you understand all of those and you understand what you're trying to do for your channel, then you can start looking into how often you're going to put it based on the audit that you did. So the classic way of how to be successful in YouTube is just do what creators do. It sounds like a very basic thing, but I recommended earlier to also look into the auditing of channels that are famous for in the industry without the need of being a like competitor, because that's the way that you're going to understand how they got to be really successful, by understanding how they engage with the user, how often they upload. I just realized that there's a Y that got moved. How they encourage users to subscribe and how they engage with the users. It's really important to learn by seeing what the competitors are doing, and that's not to say you cannot do your own thing. Probably it's much better if you don't do your own thing, because you have an USP, but always trying to understand the rules, let's say, within YouTube. Like GA4, we also have YouTube Analytics. I will argue that YouTube Analytics does show a little bit more information than GA4 these days, but I also encourage people to get used to looking at the audience insights, also using other third-party tools to see how people engage and how much they like your content. There are different types of contents that you create as well. We just went through it. I will say, whenever you are trying to create or programming your content, always try to have Tentpole, which is what we call the super branded creative content that you invest a proper agency, or you book a studio to record your content, and it's the classic content that you remember, and it tends to go viral for just a little bit and then disappears. Also the content that you create in your, for example, trailer that you do in your channel. But that is not enough. You need to make sure that you also create content that answers queries, search queries. If you know what, like you will do in your website, if you know what people search every month, and you know that there is an recurrent interest in this topic, do create this topic. And also the original series, which will be the equivalent of what I said earlier. The original series, like for example, the body transformation, or come to my kitchen, if you want to actually show people how to do food that is high in protein, or if you are trying to teach anyone how to do yoga, like for example, those are the ones that we would classify like the green ones. So the key to successful plan for YouTube is including all the different type of content, and planning the type of content that you're going to be creating is super important, because the resources that you put behind are going to be different, and the audience that you're trying to target is different, or the intent of the audience. And also, aside of all of this, you need to consider the trends, right? Because you might as well just plan your content for a year, and suddenly there is a massive trend that you should be capitalizing on, and you don't. Now, creating content for a website is, let's say, you don't need to be so much in the trends. When you look at the trends, you look at the trends in a long form, a year, you look into seasonality, etc. But in YouTube, the same way that in social media, you need to be faster. So you need to be able to understand when this trend is coming up and when to capitalize on it. When is it, let's say, important for your users and worth it for you to get involved? Is it going to affect your brand or not? And finally, be creative. You don't need to, again, like you will do for social media and diverse, different from the website. You don't really need to have a massive let's say, a studio to create a funny video that can capitalize on a trend. You can do it with your phone and with a proper understanding your users. So for example, if a certain yoga pose is becoming very trendy, you just can go to the park with your video, with your iPhone, and create a cool video to be able to put it in the shorts and capitalize on it. That is why YouTube is slightly different to a normal SEO stuff. I will say YouTube is between social media. You need to be sometimes as savvy and fast as people are in social media, but you also need to understand the basics of SEO. So that's how you can find YouTube in the middle, I would say. And again, and also actually after this, guys, I can share a template for you to plan your content. The things that you need to consider when you plan your content is not only the topic and how often you're going to put it, but which series does it belong, what are you going to be linking it to. You need to consider the target audience that you're trying to reach, how long it's going to be, the keywords that you want to target, the timing where you're going to put it, how long is it going to be. So obviously, the same way that you sort of do for YouTube, for your web, but slightly longer, because you need to include so many things. So this is a template for long form. I can also share it with the short form, but it's almost the same. So content discovery. We talk about what you need to do at the beginning, how you plan your content, the things that you need to consider. There are many other things that you need to consider for Google to discover your content, for YouTube to discover your content, right? So we said it's important, the creative and the social media part, but it's equally important, the technical part. So within a video, these are the things that actually help YouTube to find you. And you can, I recently reviewed a YouTube channel because a friend of mine was asking me for help, and I noticed that they were creating so beautiful videos. The videos were really beautiful, but neither 1, 2, 3, or 4 were actually aligned with the things that you need to do. Therefore, YouTube didn't find anything. The same thing that you will do with the website, right? If you don't optimize it, if you don't make it crawlable, if you don't make it indexable, who is going to find it? So it's the same. Make sure that the thumbnails have the words that they're trying to, let's say in a short, trying to describe the video, and they also are really visual, particularly with the branding and explaining what they can do. Make sure that your titles are in line with the description of the video. Remember, titles are the way to convince people to click. but it's also the way to rank for the keywords that people are searching for. So like always, whenever you do your meta titles, make sure that you make it, don't scam people, don't tell them to come to the video to show them that's not what you're trying to show them, but try to entice them to come to the video. The description, again, in the description, if you can make it easy for the users to understand, easy for YouTube to understand the keywords that you're trying to target, and as well the length will depend on the content that you're trying to showcase in the video. I was talking about how important thumbnails are. I mean, I cannot really say how important it is. We need to put the titles in the videos, but the way that you're actually going to convince people to click on your video and watching it is going to be through the thumbnails. So it's also the first and easiest way for people to remember your brand. Even if they don't click on it, if you are consistent with your thumbnails, they will remember and recognize you when they are scrolling in YouTube. So as I just said, don't make it clickbait, the same with the title, but still make them appealing. And that's the part where you need to be quite creative in how you do it, and when you can use your creative teams when creating the videos to do something visually nice. Consider the topic and the audience. Again, in this one in here, I'm watching it. It's making me really hungry to watch the death sandwich. But whenever you are creating them, remember the audience that you are trying to target. I mean, this will be perfect for me, but maybe might not be the perfect title for someone else, or the way that it's written. Some people might not like it. So remember who you're trying to achieve and how and why you need to create your videos. And again, plan ahead. So while creating the videos from creating a thumbnail from a screenshot for the video might work, it's not scalable and it's not consistent with branding. The recommendation that I always do is to create templates that you can scale up whenever you are creating the video. So if this belongs to a specific series that you are creating, or content cluster, wherever we want to create it, call it, let's establish a thumbnail template that you can always use in the future. That way, the only thing that you need to do is just to drag an image from the video with the same background and the same title, and it creates a continuity within the series. Also, the titles, as I said, it is really important, not only because you're telling users what they're going to be able to watch, and it's a clear way to describe in the video, it's also because it's going to help you rank. So you make sure that whenever you are putting the right titles, you also put in the keywords. The classic, like in the same way that you will say for any meta title in a website, don't use all caps. Just make sure that it sounds normal. You're not shouting at people, although I said that, and there is an example in here with all caps. But again, it might not be super classy. Make sure that it's brief, it describes what you're trying to do, not super long, and is optimized. And as well, equally, the description of the videos are really important. So we need to consider the main description that you want to put above the fall and below the fall, because above the fall is what people are going to be able to read. Think of your meta description. And below the fall is whenever people want to really engage and understand what the video is about and move forward for subscription or download an app or go to a website or whatever you want them to do, that is what they're going to be using. So you need to have both above the fall and below the fall with the right keywords that you want to use, your links for the playlist or to send people out, and make sure that it also sounds natural. Try not to overdo with the keywords that you're going to be putting, because it sounds really odd and people do actually read it. And also it's recommendable to use icons or emoticons to make, showcase certain parts of the content. And tags, super important as well for discovery. It's a classic. Whenever you're uploading the video, make sure that you're putting the tags with the right keywords. And when you're looking at the keywords, you look at keywords that people actually using to put the videos for, right? Because it's a classic that I've seen lots of people creating the tags is putting whatever they come to their mind. It's the same like social media. You will need to be using the ones that people actually use. Otherwise, there is no point. So make sure that you're checking Google Trends, you're checking keyword planner or any other tools that you have to for keyword research. If I'm not mistaken, yes, in Google Trends, actually, you can choose YouTube in one of the options that you have whenever you're checking the trends. So make sure that those are checked there, because it will give you information about the tags that people use. And also use the tags to be the playlist, because eventually, if your playlist become really popular, you can also use those tags for searching. So people can search for your own tags directly. And super important as well, the end screens. I said it at the beginning, it's really important to put an intro whenever you are recording your video and to explain what you're doing and what it is for. Equally important is to have an end screen. And I also recommend for end screens, the same as the thumbnails, to be creating templates that you can actually replicate all the time. So let's say you have 3 main objectives that you want from you have from your video. 1 is for people to subscribe your video. 2, for people to buy your product. 3, for people to actually engage with your social media. Create 3 of them, 3 templates that you can play around with in your videos at the end of your videos to see what people engage with the most, or actually whatever you're thinking of doing depending on the series that you have. So for example, in the series that we saw earlier in MyProtein, if the main objective is the main series is about how protein can change your diet, you might want to put your products directly after every single series that you are creating about nutrition. While, for example, if what you're trying to showcase is the body transformation, maybe you just want people to go to your website. Or if what you are doing is a challenge and you are doing a challenge every single month, what you might want for people to get a notification whenever they are releasing the new video on the challenge. So again, understand what the purpose of your content is, create a template for all the end screens that you want, and tag it at the end so it's easier for you to scale up whenever you are creating videos. Also, easier for you to do the analytics after to see what users or revenue you're trying to bring from YouTube, and to analyze data as well. And again, as I said earlier, playlist is one of the best ways to actually organize your content. It follows the same logic that you will do for content clusters whenever you're doing a website. Is easier to organize the content for the users to see, easier to showcase whatever you're trying to achieve with a specific series, way easier to create internal linking, way easier to organize everything with tags. So, and makes your channel look much better as well, because it does look organized. So I always recommend everyone, whenever you are coming up with a plan that you are doing, plan directly already in series and playlists, because that's the way that actually you can get your users to engage easily, and YouTube to find your content faster. So next, channel customization. So I was talking earlier about all the things that, we were talking about the things that we need to know about the videos, but actually if we look out, we also need to organize our website, our YouTube channel in a specific way. Not only because it's going to help for Google to discover you as an entity and YouTube to show your videos, but also because you want your users to remember you. You want your users to remember what you stand for, your branding. So this is the way to organize it. Things that you need to consider is the channel banner. The channel banner ideally obviously needs to use an image that it represents your brand. It has a unique social moment. So if, for example, in this one, he's eating foods, maybe in mine is someone doing yoga. If I'm trying to push for my yoga app, things are classic and important and people will remember. Also, again, certain sentences from your brand. Channel avatar is the signature image. It will show us whether you are a real person and you are no AI. So I was talking about AI proliferation in written content and how that was making people to turn into video. Unfortunately, AI is also coming for video. I said unfortunately, for something is good, for other things is quite bad. So the way to actually make the user know that you are a real person outside of watching your videos is through your avatar and your trailer. So really important that you consider both of them. They are unique to you and they're showcasing that you are real and an expert on whatever you're trying to sell or create videos for. And equally with the trailer, that's where you can actually create the first connection with the user. That's the first time that you are showcasing your videos, your channel, what you're trying to achieve. And if you are selling a product, that is the best way to actually create a very cool image and a video to showcase your product. So create it. Also, again, the trailers tend to be videos that are different to the shorts and different to the videos that you create, because there is the opportunity for you to show your studio, show how creative you are in your videos, and how beautiful everything looks. Think of it like a ad for a TV. That's or the classic pay media video that you will put in YouTube whenever you're paying for ads. And again, next is, as I said earlier, how do you organize your playlist? Not only because it's, as I said earlier, it's easier for discovery, it also looks much nicer and easier for the users to find your content. So playlists, very important. And again, whenever we are creating, I said earlier about how important it is to have the video at the end, the end screens for every single video. It's really important as well that you create your own subscribe button. Whenever you are starting a channel, more likely than not, you won't have any subscribers. You won't have many people, so there is not much point on you sending your users to your website. Probably because what they want is to engage with the content, not to buy any products from you. So what I recommend always, whenever you're doing your strategy, the first, let's say 6 months or 1 year, depending on how much content you are creating, you are just encouraging people to subscribe to your channel. You will be able to unlock a lot of YouTube products whenever you have more than 1,000 followers, subscribers, I think, or even more. So there will be lots of things that you cannot do even if within YouTube if you don't have your subscribers. So your main focus should always do that. And for that, ideally, you also want to have your own subscribe button that you do with your own branding, with your own reasoning, and an easy way for people just to click if they are interested. Mobile friendly, mainly. We need to remember that most people actually watch YouTube from the phone. Well, now I noticed that it's increasing quite a lot in TV in the recent months. Like people started watching directly YouTube in television, but traditionally there are way more users in mobile than in the TV. So make sure that you optimize it for wherever your users are most commonly coming from, which is going to be the mobile. And as I said, there are some YouTube specifics that you can only unblock whenever you have a certain amount of users, but actually, depending on your industry, will work much better than others. So, for example, I changed the title. I think I didn't change the title, but this is actually live streams. Sorry for that. So you can actually, the same way that you do in social media, you can do live streams as well in YouTube. And for example, if you are a fashion company or you're selling any sort of products that you do have a premiere, it makes sense to do this with a live show, and you actually can do it at the same time in social media as you do in YouTube. And this actually helps increase quite a lot the channel time, and it helps a lot with new subscription and engagement. And then you can also put the video as a normal video that you will put in your channel. So again, for that, you need to have a minimum of subscribers, but it's really good in the industry of fashion or on e-commerce to actually push your videos. Then you also have premieres, and this is the case of Adriana Grande. That's basically they did a premiere on the next song release, and they created a thank you next video, and actually that allowed people to connect. They were able to see it before other people, and they were able to connect and sign up through email before actually this was launched. So it created a lot of hype into what was going to happen. Lots of people started sending their emails and subscribing beforehand to be able to watch it. It was also capped in the amount of people that could join. So lots of people were waiting for it, and it worked almost as an event in real life. Is a super good way to actually create global events, for example, if you cannot do it physically. And also something that it should be available to everyone on the wall. So you might not need to have a minimum of subscriber, but it's a good way whenever you already have a brand to be able to create the hype in any product releases or anything that you're doing specifically. And then also stories, right? We were talking about short videos. Stories are also a very good way, and stories actually you can use them equally as you use them in Instagram or in TikTok. This is only available for people with more than 10,000 subscribers. But again, it's something that you will do to engage with your users, and it's a really good way to showcase your brand, and to show Q&As or interviews that you're doing. For example, one of the interviews that we wanted to do to one of our collaborators with exercise, or one of the Instagrammers that we were working with, we were doing a live in story in YouTube. So a very good way as well to do it at the same time in all social media to try to cover everything. The community tab, again, I said earlier how that is super important to engage with the users. It's not only like to be a nice to be, but you have to do it to be able to rank for YouTube's or to try to get people to subscribe. So these are all the things that you can do within your community tab. You can obviously reply, you can do surveys or polls. The more users you have, the more you can actually find out if they're engaging with your content. If they like it, they would like to see something else. You can also post GIFs. It's almost, again, a hybrid between your website and a social media. Only that's that you can rank with your content. So there's quite a lot of things that you can do, and I really encourage people to be active in the community if you're really serious about YouTube. And finally, content performance and promotion. So there is no point on you putting all your content out there if you don't check if it's actually working, right? So it's the same, exactly the same as you would do for SEO. You need to monitor your impressions and to see that actually your videos are being ranked and they are discovered properly. But then you also need to look into the click-through rates. So how do you measure click-through rate? Is how your title, is it good enough? And is your thumbnail appealing enough? Could it be better, more creative? Next, it will be views. So the average view duration, for example, it will tell you if it's engaging enough, if people are finding your content good, and it's exactly what they're searching for. And the watch time is actually overall how your channel is doing. So the amount of time that your channel overall is being watched, so you can actually check as well if it's being successful or not. You need to look, when you look at the channels and looking at conversion, this is anything that you put before actually looking into click-through rate in your end screens or any revenue connected with it. If your watch time is quite low, then there is no point actually on trying to push, for example, selling your product. First, make sure that your videos and your content is of quality. And here I was talking about YouTube analytics and how it looks like. You can check the impressions. We all know what impression means. The click-through rate as well. And within the click-through rate, it will tell you actually the things that you need to change. Equally, the same way that you will do with your titles, meta titles in Google, for example. Watch time refers to the amount of time that the viewers have spent watching your content, and it kind of again gives you the basic of, is my content good enough? What is it that I need to change? And then go back to the drawing board of how your competitors are doing the content if you are not doing the same. And then the traffic sources. So where is your users coming from, and potentially as well, where are your users going after watching your video? Important, because you can check if your videos are being discovered through Google SERP or they are being discovered through YouTube. One of them, a technique for easy discoverability as well at the beginning is trying to, like you will do in YouTube, try to put your content, if you are creating your YouTube content but you already have a website that is has quite a lot of traffic, or you have, in my case, an app with quite a lot of users, make sure that your current users are able to find your content easily, because again, it will trigger the crawling of the video. YouTube will understand that people are engaging with it, and the more subscribers you get and the more people engage, the more information you're going to get about the quality of your content, and the more you're going to be able to fix everything. So like everything, if you already have a base of users or people that buy your products, send the videos, be it through social media, CRM, in your website, try to make sure that the content is discoverable. I cannot say that people can discover the content, and understand it through the YouTube analytics to see where is more popular from, so you can actually push it more. And I said earlier how important is video cross promotion. I mean, there are several reasons of why you will do it. I just explained. You want to get more people coming to your channel. You want more people to subscribe. You want more YouTube to see that people are engaging with your content. But actually, funny enough, if you are investing a lot of money into creating content for YouTube channel, just put your content as well in social media. We just said that YouTube somehow is a sort of a hybrid between search engine and social media by the way they set up. So logically, your content in YouTube can go to your web, but also can go to your social media. So depending on the type of content that you're creating, be it short or long, you can actually put it in Twitter, you can put it in Meta or in TikTok, and you can also link to your content. We said earlier how important link were for YouTube to discover the content. You can also do it in Instagram, for example. These are different ways that creators do link the videos. This famously in some social media, content with links are demoted, but you can always try to find a different way for people to engage with it. And as I just said, trying to embed your YouTube video as well. This is a topic I tend to get quite a lot of pushback from SEOs, because it's well known that embedding your YouTube content in the website is not very good for Core Web Vitals. If you don't do it properly, many times it will make your website slower. I would say if you find a way to properly do it without affecting your speed in your website, it's going to be super good for rankings, not only because we saw that Google is promoting video in the SERPs. You also have the tab for video that only uniquely shows video content. And I think my cat is trying to get into the room. And obviously, it's going to be easier to find the content. So in all, this is all the information for YouTube, how to try to get your channel started and how to get your content discovered. Again, lots of different things that you can do after, as we said, but the first step is actually getting there. So that's my presentation for today. And not sure if people will have comments, questions?
Yeah, we have, but we are also a bit tight on time because it's almost an hour. And before I pass to some questions I had, can you share where people can find you if you want to be connected with, or what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, you can find me with my name in Twitter, LinkedIn, not in YouTube, really. I'm not that good at creating videos of myself. But yeah, mainly LinkedIn, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Carmen Domínguez.
Blue Sky, yes. I have a very quick question, slightly off, because you mentioned TikTok, and TikTok is only short, YouTube short. So, do you know any statistics? Who is winning? Is TikTok still much winning the space on a short video?
Actually, it really depends on the audience that you're trying to target. The audience, the classic audience for TikTok has been younger people, so up to 25 years, while YouTube has traditionally been older, 30 onwards. But I also have to say that in recent months, TikTok has increased a lot in the audience from older generations. So more, I'm not in TikTok, but I will have to eventually, because I need to do quite a lot of strategies. So it depends on the audience that you want to watch. YouTube tends to have more watch than TikTok, but again, it will always depend on the audience that you're trying to target.
Okay.
Alexander is asking, he's thanking you for the great presentation, and also is asking, how will AI tools change the way marketing is done on YouTube?
It's a very good question.
Before you answer, can I say just one word? Alexander Usik is one of the most loyal supporter. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was taking time to drink some water. I think it's actually going to change it a lot. To be honest, AI is still not as good in video. Whenever you are creating video in book with AI, you can see things that that is not real, that that people might not engage with. But I noticed recently doing a lot of audits that because with AI you can create a lot of content and scale, YouTube is ranking video content even if it's not real. So in order of rankings and in order of people clicking those videos, people are doing so. Obviously, they end up dropping the subscription because they realize that it's not real people behind. But unfortunately, the same way that AI is actually having an impact in written content, it is also doing it in video content. If you flip it, because I only said the negative part, if you flip it, also AI video creation is helping a lot with the creation of templates. So I was talking earlier about the templates for the end screens and the templates for the thumbnails is something that you can do as well with AI, and it makes it easier and faster for you to create your video.
Okay. And my question was, can you recommend some maybe, I don't know, tips, tricks, how to make my video, if we create some video, rank not only on YouTube and be discoverable, not only on YouTube, but also in Google search? Is it possible to do both?
So actually, the key. Sorry, I was laughing because both of my cats are fighting. I was like, should I just unmute myself? The best way is internal linking. So the more links you do from your website to your videos and from your videos to your website, the easier it's going to be for Google to rank it. Again, whenever you are putting your videos in your website, use schema. Schema videos are going to actually make it easier for Google to rank them and to recognize them. A classic as well is to make sure that you put a long description in your website of the video, and you put the same description as well in the video for like the same description that you're putting in both, so we can recognize it. Put as well subtitles in your videos, because Google is going to be able to recognize the content. So if you put subtitles, it's easier for Google to show your video whenever someone is searching for a piece of information that is in a part of the video. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that, but Google is getting so put subtitles. Try to always put them in the video, so it's easier for Google to recognize it. I'll say my favorite is always schema. I have a soft spot for schema, and I think that it's a good trick.
But how important is search for, not for Google, obviously, but for YouTube itself? YouTube is a second search engine. We all know that. But how important, I mean, do you have any numbers? So video has that number of views. What the percentages came from search? What the percentage came from what suggestion or whatever?
Actually, in my first slides, I put some data. So 2 billion of people use YouTube every month to search for information. And it's actually 80 language that you can search for. So 2 billion of people searching in YouTube is quite a lot.
Yeah, I understand. My question wasn't, I have no doubt about that. There's a lot of people searching. But for video itself, how important is search? What is the most?
The amount of people coming from directly from search.
Percentage.
Sorry. Actually, I think last time that I checked, it was 30% of the traffic coming from search to YouTube, which is quite a lot. I'm not sure.
But you're talking about from search on YouTube to video, not from search on Google, because obviously YouTube video is indexed. So some video some people comes from Google search to video, some people comes from YouTube search to video. So what was the you said about 30% people who are searching on YouTube? Like, yeah, okay, so it's still not it's not the main thing, but it's a huge 1/3. Yes.
So yeah, no, it's 30% that go from Google. So when you search in Google, so if you see a video, click and go to YouTube.
Okay, you confuse me. So 30% comes from search in Google coming to YouTube. But what percentages who search on YouTube coming to particular video?
I don't know the answer actually. So sorry. So basically, I
No,
misunderstood.
because people said YouTube is a second search engine. So obviously, and you said 2 billion people searching on YouTube. So what's the percentage of people who search on YouTube come? So what's the percentage of views come from search of YouTube, on YouTube?
Yeah.
I have a figure about 25%.
Okay.
I don't know where it comes from, but I do remember that. Okay. We can see Bibi. Bibi is watching our video. It's fantastic. Thank you, Bibi. You can donate.
Confusion. Yes. Probably my fault actually.
Okay. I think we need to wrap it up because it's over 1 hour, and I'd love to talk to you longer, but it's an opportunity for us to have you one more time in the future. So we'll leave our questions up to the next time. It was a great pleasure to see you. Thank you for coming, and the presentation was wonderful, and I'll be reviewing it afterwards as well again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation, and everyone donates.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.